Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So it's going to be a short video, and this is something that I want to share with you, and this might be helpful for you. So you might have seen many a times when you try to create a cluster, you would get a message something like this. It will, this will complain about the quota exceeded, and you will get an error message that operation could not be performed, especially when you're creating a cluster. So one thing to note here is that when we talk about cluster, we usually are talking about a bunch of VMs, and these VMs could come in various shape and sizes. They could be different categories of VMs. So what happens is that the number of VMs that can be available for every subscription or every resource group are limited. And that's why if you already have utilized the same kind of VMs in your projects, if you try to utilize more, and if some of the other people have or also you utilize that, then it becomes difficult to get more VMs because remember guys, these are virtual machines, and the number of virtual machines is not infinite, it is limited. So you get this error message, and that's why Microsoft says, or whatever error message that you get say tells you that you need to either request for more uh, quotas or increase your quota, or you have to choose a different type of machine or a VM. Now, one thing to be noted here is that when we say the quota, we are mostly talking about the cores. For example, here you can see I have selected DS5 V2, and I'm going for minimum two and maximum two workers, which means two machines, and each of the machine will be having 16 cores. This makes it a total of 32 cores, as you can see on the top right side. Now let's see whether this one is available for us or not. So it says that these kind of VMs that you see here, DS5, V2, we have total of 20 available, but we have requested for 32. So yeah, it can be confusing. So let we have to talk it in terms of the number of cores, not the number of VMs, but the number of cores. So here you can see that the request is being made for 32, but the available are 20. And let's try for another one or another category. So there are different categories of VMs here. You can select whatever you want based on the workloads. So this one says that each executor or worker or a machine is going to have 20 cores or going to need 20 cores. Again, we have minimum of two of maximum of two. Let's see whether this one is available. So I'm not getting any warning messages, so that means these are available. And there is another useful way to find out what is the maximum limit. What you can do is you can go to the home page on the Azure portal, go to the quotas, and over there select compute because VMs are under uh, the compute category. So even though this is cloud, you have you know you have access to plethora of resources. But since so many people use cloud across the globe, so there could be certain limitations on certain services. So we are talking about VM. So let's click on VM here. So first we have to select our region. So let's see what our region is, or what I could have done is I could have gone into my subscription as pay as you go, and maybe I think we will find a blade for quotas here. Let me see if it is available. Yeah, usage and quotas. So once you click on that, it will take you to the region in which you have got your subscription created or resource group created. So here, now I think this is again giving me all the regions, but anyways, we will go into the resource group that I'm using for this Databricks, and let's see what is the resource group. So the resource group here is in East US. We will again go to the home page, then go to quotas, compute, and here we will select East. Well, let's unselect all first of all, and then select East US. Click on apply, and then we see that whether I'm not sure why it is not filtering based on the region. It's giving all these options. Apply. Let's see whether this one works. Okay, this is working now. So let's see which is the VM that we are trying to worker type we are trying to provision. It's standard E20D. Maybe let's type in standard E. Do we have E20? So this would be part of some family of computes. So let's see if we can find anyone closer to it. Family vCPUs. Maybe let me go back. Virtual machines. No, sorry, not here. Let's try to just Google what would be the family of this worker types or VMs. Standard E20D. Standard E20D. What is E20D V4? vCPUs in Azure. I think it might be under EDV4 and EDV5 series, standard E20DV4. So this is part of EDV4 series. EDV4 series. So we have this one, EDV4 family vCPUs. In fact, we have two, no, one EDV4. ED, where is that? EDV4. Yeah, this one. So I believe if it says 0 of 0, then it means it might be, available, or we might have, run out of it. So one way to check it is just try our luck and see if this works. And let me just see whether this one works. If we try to start it, let's see what happens. So it tried creating the cluster, but it gave us the same message. Let's see what it has given. Code exceeded. It's the same kind of message. Maybe I think it might be complaining about the driver because driver is currently set to DS3V2. And let's see what is the family of DS3 V2. DS3 V2 DV2 and DSV2 series. So let's go in here. DV2 standard DV2. DV2 and DSV2. DV2 and DSV2. Let's see whether we can find it. DS2 or DV2, DS2. Maybe let me just open this and try to look up with the name. So DV2 is here, 0 of 10. So, and which one we are using? I think we are using DS3 V2. We are using DS3 V2. So DS3 V2 would be part of DV2 series, DS3 V2 or DSV2 series. DSV2 series standard. Let me just put in here because you cannot test the driver type. Um, and I don't think driver type will be an issue. Let's just copy this and put it into a notepad. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to drill down to the error message and see if it is making sense or not. But the root problem would be the same. So if you try to speak to Microsoft, they will give you the same reason that the type of workers that you've chosen is actually is having the total cores exceeding the quota for that particular region and subscription. So deployment, which says current limit is 30, current usage 4, additional required. Current limit 30, current usage 4, additional required 40, minimum new limit required 44. This is interesting. So I think for this one, it's only complaining about the driver because if you go in and see here, we are not getting any warning message or anything here, but which means that our worker type is okay, but even for our driver type, it might be, creating some issues. And only in the driver type, we have 4 cores, and that's why it says current usage 4. But then if there is a limit of 30 and if we are using 4, requesting 4 out of it, then why would it throw an error? So yeah, for these kind of maybe issues, we might have to reach out to Microsoft. But just to just to help us understand this, let's do one thing. We will say that the worker type should be same as, sorry, the driver type should be same as the worker type, and then try to see whether this one starts or not. So let me give it a try, and we'll see whether this one works or not. So we can again see that we got the error message, and I've put it in the notepad. So this is the second error message that we got. And if you just try to break it down, let's bring it to the next line and just separate out the line which we are interested in. So here we are getting the same kind of error message. It says current limit is 30, current usage is 0, additional required is 40, minimum required is 40. So going back to where we started, I think when we looked at the quota for this particular set of vCPUs, we found that 0 of 0 is available, so maybe that is causing it. But but for some reasons, the numbers are not, making sense, or it's not aligning with whatever we found. Um but I think you get a fair idea on how to, troubleshoot these and how to fix these errors. So you should be looking at a vCPU which has, sufficient amount of quota, and whatever cluster that you are spinning up, make sure that the minimum and the maximum number of CPUs or the cores are lesser than the quota. And even after doing this, you still think, some of it is not making sense and you're not able to get the cluster created, then you can definitely reach out to Microsoft and they could help you with increasing the quota numbers. So I found that these kind of quota issues especially happen when you are using a individual membership. I've not seen these kind of issues any of my project work when it comes to the real-time projects, especially in the production environments. So there could be another, session which I would make in order to find out or double click what happens there. So guys, this is helpful. So again, just to sum it up, you have nodes and cores or executors or workers at the top level. Inside that you have, cores. So these quota errors are usually for cores. Make sure the family of the vCPU cores that you select are having the cores lesser than the quota that is there provided by the Microsoft. So if you have any questions, do let me know. You can put it in the comment box below. And if you want to reach out to me or connect with me, you can, click on the link in the description box where you will be taken to my LinkedIn profile. I hope this helps out and thank you. Have a good day.